Good day, good day. This is Sadie. I am hosting this webinar today on funding your nonprofit, and it's business as usual, guys. I hope everybody had an amazing day. I sure did, and I'm going to just give you a snippet of me sitting here today. Hi, calling in. All right, so let's get started. Okay, today we will be going over funding your nonprofit, and again, it's business as usual. Okay. Thank you so much for attending. And what we will cover today in this webinar is what is a nonprofit organization, examples of well-known nonprofit organizations, myths about nonprofit organization, what is the difference between a for-profit and a nonprofit organization, and we're going to talk money. Oh, yes, I love talking money. Funding levels, ways of collecting funds, and then we'll do a Q&A with all of the phone attendees. And I also have a chat where I will be taking questions, and then we'll get them built into the presentation also, okay? And then at the end, you got to stay for the end. At the end, I will tell you secret funding sources related to your organization. Whoever's attending, I'll give you some secret funding sources, okay? All right, let's get started. So what is a nonprofit organization? A nonprofit organization is also known as a non-business entity or a nonprofit or institution. It is dedicated to furthering a particular social cause or advocating for a shared point of view. Okay, guys. So I know that sounded like a bunch of mumbo jumbo probably, but okay, for all of you guys who have these business dreams of wanting to do something for the people in the community, whether it's for single mothers, people with cancer, maybe you have a passion for dogs and rescuing animals. If you have some type of endeavor that would wholeheartedly benefit the community or is going to advocate or voice or fight for a particular group or point of view, you guys, you need to turn those businesses into non-profit organizations. And I'll tell you why as we go through this, because it is so many benefits out there for having nonprofit organizations that a regular for-profit business, we just don't have the same benefits, okay? All right, examples of well-known nonprofit organizations, all right? 211, Salvation Army, American Cancer Society, March of Dimes, Girl Scouts of America, AARP, and I know everybody should have heard of Habitat for Humanity. Guys, we know that 211 is just a call away. They'll give you great information. Salvation Army, they take in items, usually household items and clothing items, and then they'll sell it in their Salvation Army stores. But I know you guys know that Salvation Army also connects with other organizations such as Toys for Tots. And we'll talk more into how you could bring your nonprofit endeavor up to that same level, to where you're just offering different and great things for the community by partnering, okay? And then we know Habitat for Humanity, of course, they build houses in urban areas. They go in, they build the houses, they'll put low income, needy families in the home, and it's great. It's a great resource for the community. And then I know you guys know Girl Scouts of America, right? We're always buying the cookies from Girl Scouts. I can't tell you my favorite, but I totally have a favorite Girl Scout cookie. It's the one with the chocolate swirls on it. Love that cookie. All right. So now that we've discussed some well-known nonprofit organizations, let's compare the two. Let's compare nonprofits and for-profits, okay? The great thing about a nonprofit organization is that it has a 501c3 status with the IRS, and it is tax exempt on purchases. A for-profit business has no exemption status with the IRS and must pay taxes on purchases, right? Okay, have you guys ever seen or been shopping in Walmart or some other business, and you see somebody maybe buying a bunch of school supplies, and it's no taxes added to their transaction? Well, what the organization have is a card that Walmart, Target give the 501c3, and it basically exempt your business from having to pay taxes on purchases of items that that you're gonna sow back into society, guys. It's amazing. All right. Another difference is nonprofit organizations usually report a profit of zero at the year end and have no taxes to pay to the IRS. A for-profit business, they usually have made some type of profit unless the business is new and is reporting maybe a business loss. But that's the difference. At the end of the year, nonprofit organizations, they literally report zero. At their book says zero. And it basically just means that everything that was brought in, money made, they were able to distribute it back out in some amazing ways. And we'll talk more about that, bringing the books down to zero. Nonprofit organization, they have employees and volunteers. I know you guys have heard of volunteers, and nonprofits relying so heavily on those volunteer workers. The difference is for-profit organization, they have employees who are paid, and they also use contractors. Another difference is nonprofit organizations, they file our IRS Form 990, and is not included with their personal taxes. Typically, for-profits, they file a well-known form, Schedule C, and it's usually filed with the owner's taxes. If the business is a larger business and typically make more and generate more revenue, that's when the personal taxes is taken away from the business filing. But wholeheartedly, the difference is the forms that each file and submit to the IRS. Nonprofit organizations, they file Form 990. All right. Nonprofit organizations, they belong to the community and they have board members. For-profit organization, they belong to an owner or owners. That's the difference, like wholeheartedly, nonprofit organizations are supposed to benefit and are designed to benefit the community and do not belong to one particular owner. So usually when a nonprofit organization want to make changes within that organization, they have to meet with all the board members and depending on, how many members agree, that's whether or not that action can go into place. All right, so let's talk money. I know you guys want to talk money. I enjoy talking money. But before I talk money, let me give you guys a few myths about nonprofit organizations. I hear a lot of people saying that nonprofit organization, they only have volunteers, none of the workers get paid. That's not true, guys. If you would do some research, you'll see that some of the highest paid people right now in the United States are like CEOs or CFOs over nonprofit organizations, especially Salvation Army. The owner of disregard that, the CEO or the CFO of Salvation Army earns over $250,000 annually, guys. So I just want you guys to know that that's a myth. It's so many benefits in having and operating a nonprofit organization. You can write yourself in a salary. People get paid that work for nonprofit organizations. Another myth is nonprofit organizations, they have only volunteers. That's not true. They have employees. They pay the employees just the same as any other organization. And literally, like they're saying that I heard that nonprofit organizations are not businesses, and wholeheartedly they are businesses. They just operate in a little different way. And so we'll talk more about that when we start talking money. So how does a nonprofit get money? I know for me personally, I have for-profit businesses, and it's either I'm funding it, I have to find investors to fund it, I would have to get quick loan, bank loans, some type of line of credit. However, that's not the case when you're dealing with nonprofit organizations. They have some great benefits, right? So a nonprofit organization could actually get funding from different levels. The local government will fund you, meaning your city or county. They have funding set aside for nonprofit organizations within their community. You just have to go and reach the individuals who have those funds, do some footwork, but your local government, your state government, funds are given at federal levels. Corporations also have fundings. I'm talking about Walmart, Target, different businesses, Delta Community Credit Union, if you've heard of them. These corporations have funds set aside that they sow into nonprofit organizations, and the reason being is because the nonprofit organization is benefiting the community, and all of us as business owners. One of our diligence require that we have a level of responsibility that we show to our local community. And nonprofit organizations can also be funded by individual donations. I know you guys know about donations. I know if you're not aware, most churches or religious organizations, they're set up as nonprofit entities. We all know that depending on the church you attend, a church can collect a large amount of donations, of tithes and offerings, guys, and at the end of the year, that organization is just set up like any other. Just show where, they break it down to zero, or they'll pay taxes on, whatever amount that's left over. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a few ways of collecting funds. So nonprofit organizations have the ability to host fundraisers. They also have the ability of submitting proposals. If you've heard of grant writing, if anyone have ever had, who have a nonprofit organization, if someone has said, I'll write a grant for you, or I'll do grant writing for you, they're basically submitting proposals on your behalf, on your organization's behalf. Writing contribution letters is another way that a not-for-profit entity could seek funds and go after funds. Sending out contribution letter, asking for people to contribute to your organization through letters. Selling products. There's a lot of nonprofit organizations that sell products. For instance, Habitat for Humanity, their product is literally the home. Even though a lot of resources that they're getting, like the material to build a home, the labor to build the home, is volunteer labor. They get a lot of free and reduced price material for it, but wholeheartedly they're selling you a product, and that product is the house itself. And so it's just, it could get more complicated, and what do you want to sell? What do you want to do? What do you offer to the community? And you'll just see that literally almost any for-profit endeavor could instantly get switched into a nonprofit endeavor and reach the benefits of just being set up as a 501c3, a nonprofit entity. Another way of collecting funds is selling services, guys. I had the privilege of working with an organization that gives out scholarships. It's a nonprofit organization that gives out scholarships. But the cool thing about it is that they somewhat sell services from volunteer labor. So they get a host of volunteers, usually family members of the person who will receive the scholarship. The family members will go off, they'll work, and the company, the organization get paid for those services, that work. Another way of collecting funds for a nonprofit entity is through sponsors, guys. You could get different companies, barbershops, beauty salons, artists, rap artists, singers, you name it, to sponsor your organization, and that's basically them just saying that you and them usually have some type of interest at heart, some type of connection. You guys are working together to benefit the set of people that your organization is helping, and so they'll sponsor you. They'll give you funds, and usually, you can put their sponsors on flyers, banners, T-shirts, post it on your social media sites. You could post your sponsors on literally your website, so many ways. But having sponsors is an amazing way for a nonprofit to bring in money, to collect money, because we all need money to do business. All right. So we're down to the part to where if anybody on the phone lines, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome. Ask me a question. I do have some questions that was placed into our slide, our presentation, from a chat. All right. So here's some questions from our chat. This question is from Amber. Amber's from Stockbridge, Georgia. And her question is, I am having a hard time with grant writing. What do you suggest? Okay, Amber, thank you so much for your question. Thank you for being part of our webinar. And you are having issues, hard time with grant writing. What do I suggest? Well, my suggestion to you, Amber, is to make sure that you get a reputable grant writer. Anyone who is saying they're writing a grant for you, they have to understand the process of grant writing. I know there's a lot of people out there, Amber. I'm not saying that it's you. I run into a lot of nonprofit organizations that want me to do grant writing for them. However, they want me, the writer, to wait until funds are distributed to the organization to get paid. I don't know if grant writers do that, but I don't. Typically, the cost, you will have to have money to sew in it, to getting someone to write you one amazing proposal. This one proposal could be altered, usually by you or somebody on your board. It could be altered to go with different proposals, but requests for proposals. But wholeheartedly, Amber, I would suggest that you just get a reputable grant writer who understands the process of grant writing. I will say to you that typically it costs, and at cost, if someone wanted me to write a grant, such as the grants that are posted on grants.gov, typically I would charge between $800 and $1,000 to write the grant in full, because grant writing includes so much research, guys. They ask for market research. You're literally writing a business plan. They want you to have a well-written plan, and usually they request a certain format, saying how are you going to spend their funds. You got to understand, when you're getting into responding to grants, you're dealing with typically the state or federal or local government, and they want they too will have to make sure that if they sow 25, 50,000, 150,000 into an organization, this organization is going to do what they promise, or do exactly what we want them to do. And a lot of times, when you're dealing with grant writing, whoever gives you the grant funds, they will audit your books. They'll come in and see and make sure that you spent the money on what you said that you were going to spend the money on. And listen, guys, whenever you're writing grants, don't be afraid to write in salaries. If you know that that you're going to get funding for after-school program, and you have to pay workers, and you have to pay an administrator, and you're going to have marketing, write that into the grant, letting them know that, hey, it's going to cost us money to do this, but we're going to give this amazing thing to the community. All right, my next question is from Marcus from Macon. Marcus, hey, what part of Macon? I wonder Marcus is from. Hey, Marcus, thank you for joining our webinar today. It's an honor. It's a male on board, and Marcus wants to know, can I get a bank loan if I have a nonprofit organization? And Marcus, you can, in fact, get a bank loan if you have a nonprofit organization. Again, remember, Marcus, usually bank loans, what they want to see is your track record of funds that you have been bringing in. So if you're taking up donations, or if, your sponsors or contributors are giving you funds and you're putting them into a banking account, and, that bank have a record of typically how much you bring in, of course, they'll give you a bank loan. Usually banks look at personal credit, and so just keep all that in mind. But of course, a nonprofit organization can too get bank loans. In fact, many churches, many religious, entities, they wholeheartedly, they go out and they get loans for bigger buildings, for gymnasiums, for whatever it is that they want to build. They'll go off and get a bank loan. And then I have our last question. It's also from a live chat, from our chat. It's from Greg. Greg is in Statesboro, Georgia. Hey, Greg. 2 guys. This is totally winning. So that lets me know that guys are, males are totally into nonprofit organizations also. And so Greg's question is, I am a veteran. Is there any assistance offered for vets wanting to start nonprofits? And this is a great and amazing question. Yes, sir, it is. It is assistance that the VA offered to vets who want to start a nonprofit organization. Guys, again, it just takes footwork, some work, some consulting, somebody to go out there and locate connections. You could do it. Your board members could do it, guys. You go talk to the VA, Greg, and just let them know that you're interested in starting a business endeavor. And then once, you could tell them, like, this is my endeavor, but I want it to be a nonprofit entity because I want to do this and I want to do that for the community. So, of course, there's assistance out there for vets and for starting a nonprofit organization. And I want to take the time and just say thank you for your service, for servicing our country and keeping us safe. I appreciate that. So I would like to tell Greg personally, thank you. So, guys, if you have paper and pencil, pens, I always keep pen and paper handy. I promise I enjoy keeping my promises to you, and I want to let you in. I have this book of grant lists. It basically just lists so many grants, guys, out there, opportunities that people do not know about. And I have the foundation name, I have the address and a contact person, guys. And so since we had questions from, a few people, I'm going to give out some actual foundation name, address, and contact information from my list. And, this will help you guys when, just seeking funds, okay? The whole part of this is just to get you guys funding for these amazing nonprofit organizations, okay? So I am going to start off with AIG Corporate Giving Program, guys. This is a foundation. Their address is 70 Pine Street, 36th floor, New York, New York. Zip code is 10270. The contact person is Edmund Lee. He's the director. And so these people will give funding to any organization that is focused on AIDS, HIV, education, government and public administration, health care, and minorities and immigrants, guys. And right now we know that minorities and immigrants organizations are well needed within our country, within our communities right now, guys. I gave you the address. I'm going to give you a contact number. The number is 212-770-7000. All right. Another organization that I'm going to give you info about is Bridgestone Firestone Trust Fund. That's right, Bridgestone Firestone Trust Fund. I know we know Bridgestone from tires. Their address is 50 Century Boulevard. That's in Nashville, Tennessee. The zip code is 37214. Guys, get some letters, some contribution letters, some sponsorship letters sent out. The contact person is Bernice Cesar, and that last name of Miss Bernice is Casazar. That I gave you the address. The phone number is 616-872-1415, guys. If usually they give in a range to at a high $100,000. The low is $50,000, but $50. But on average, Bridgestone will contribute $2,000 to $25,000, and they set aside each year roughly $4.6 million to give away, guys. And they're just looking for organizations that help with adult continuing education, community and neighborhood development, employment services, health care, human services, substance abuse, and youth services. So that's a broad range of organizations that, that they reach. And I actually have an email address for Miss Bernice, is bfstrustfund@fusa.com, guys. Again, like I said, take down this information, send out contribution letters, send them a proposal. If you could propose, make some type of proposition to them and let them know, like, hey, if you sow this amount into my organization, this is what we propose to do. This is our proposition. We're just asking you to help us, be able to bring this to communities, okay? All right. Another one, guys, is Hasbro Children's Foundation, right? I know you guys have heard of Hasbro toys, which I have, of course, because my children love buying toys, Walmart, Toys R Us, you name it, the Dollar Tree. They don't care. Anywhere they can get their hand on a toy. But Hasbro Children Foundation, their address is 32 West 23rd Street. That's in New York, New York. The zip code is 10010, right? Hasbro Children Foundation, they will sow into any organization that focuses on child development services, children and youth services, crime and violence prevention, child abuse, the disabled, food service, homeless and humane services, and anything with minorities, right? On average, Hasbro will contribute $10,000 to $50,000, right? They have board meetings in February, June, and November, guys. You have to get your letter requesting funds in 3 months prior to their board member meetings, okay? Because this is when, like I said, with nonprofit organizations, they meet. They're going to look at everybody's letters, everybody's submissions, and they're going to decide as a team what and who and what organization they're sewing into, guys. So remember, they meet in February, June, and November, and you have to submit at least 3 months prior to the board meeting, okay? And let's see, I'm going to give you guys one more, right? Robert R. McCormick Tribune, right? I know you guys have heard of that name, McCormick. McCormick has all types of seasonings, and they set aside a little over $106 million annually. Wow. That's, to give out. So typically their grants will range from $5,000 to $50,000. And so McCormick Tribune Foundation, that's the Robert R. McCormick Tribune Foundation. Their address is 435 North Michigan Avenue, Suite 770. The phone number is 312-222-3515. So again, on average, they will give out between $5,000 and $50,000, guys. All right, and you just basically just have to submit your letter and an application. You should probably go to their website, www.rrmtf.org, to locate an application. They give funding to organizations that focus on children, youth services, community development, economically disadvantaged, education, employment, the government and public administration, homeless and humane services, housing and shelter evolvement. I just met a young lady. I hope she's on this call because the Robert R. McCormick Tribune Foundation would be a great place for you to submit an application and a letter for funding. And they also will contribute to vocational education and volunteerism promotion. So basically, if you want to just promote people volunteering within the community, they'll give you funding up to $50,000, between $5,000 to $50,000. And I gave you their phone number, 312-222-3512. Guys, I'm not for sure if you want to get their fax number also. It's 312-222-3523. Guys, okay. So, again, the whole purpose of this webinar is to let you guys know that it's so much funding available for nonprofit entities, and you guys need to take advantage of the funds that are out there. We talked about these organizations having large millions set aside just to assist us with building the community, guys. And so our last slide, let's see, go back one slide. Our last slide, guys, we're at the end of it. I want you guys to know that Imagine That Consulting is offering a nonprofit package, guys. If you're interested in signing up with us to assist your nonprofit entity with getting funds in the door, like I said, I have resources. I have hundreds of organizations and foundations that will contribute money to your nonprofit endeavor. And so what this $89.99 a month, it will get you 15 sponsor letters submitted. We will find 15 sponsors that will back up your cause and submit well-tailored, well-written letters on your organization's behalf. We will also give you 2 hours of coaching included. That's where you could call in, or we could do email, virtual, or call, or be in a virtual setting, and we could talk for 2 hours each month about the challenges your nonprofit organization is having. These challenges, you could use your 2 hours. It does not have to be about funding, but we'll give you 2 hours included in this package. And again, guys, you would also have access to our entire list of grants. You'll have access to any and every organization, foundation, corporation, website, all of that we know where you can locate funding for your nonprofit, you'll have access to a list of it, everything that is relating to your mission. So if your mission is clothing or shoes or electronic devices for the youth, whatever we have on our list that we could get pertaining to your organization, you will have access to this so quiet list that we have here at Imagine That Consulting. Guys, I just want to say thank you for all of the participants, everybody who called in, everybody who signed in via the web. I want to say thank you. Also, thank you to those who were participating via chat. I greatly appreciate the support. My name is Sadie, and I am the founder and lead consultant at Imagine That Consulting. If you guys have any questions or concerns, or if you want to sign up for our package, give me a call. My number is 404-200-5025. Again, my name is Sadie, and it was such a pleasure. You guys have a great day, and I wish you much success and much funding with your nonprofit endeavors. Thank you.